I'm Lizzi Doyle. I'm with Ian Ryan. You've just done the main show, so we'll try not to repeat ourselves too much. Basically, what we're going to do on Talking Red today is weirdly Klopp has just held his press conference ahead of the Community Shield on Sunday. Now, I can only presume it's because they're going to Evian training camp. So we're going to have a little look through some of the quotes and stuff that he said, but just firstly, Ian, on last night.
Well, didn't it? Really good.
It was interesting. I mean, for me, I can't even remember much about it. I know when I'm vested in something, it's because I remember a lot about it, but I felt like I was looking at my phone a lot of the time and thinking, oh, when will this end? And maybe just because pre-season I was a little bit bored, but also the fact that we got beat 3-0 and people can say we're negative. It's not about being negative, it's just Klopp said it himself, it wasn't very good defensively. You don't want to see those results going into the season, do you?
No, you don't, and there obviously are caveats to it. It's pre-season, so you can't get too upset with results, even if it was a 3-0. I think Napoli were a little bit behind us in terms of fitness as well, so it was a little bit surprising that they looked maybe a little bit more lively than what we did. It worried me a little bit how open we were. I mean, I think one of the threads and themes of pre-season has been that it's quite easy to get at us at the minute. But obviously, the big caveat is it is pre-season. You can't get too hung up on results. And obviously, we're missing loads of big hitters as well. So when the front three come back, if you get Naby Keita fit, Shaqiri obviously come back in as well, had a good pre-season last year, and obviously Alisson Becker as well. So there's 5 or 6 lads there who would arguably be in your starting 11 who aren't playing, and I think those boys they changed the landscape completely. I think you certainly see with Mignolet, he's playing a totally different game to Becker.
Yeah, he is.
He's playing a totally different game, and I thought, I don't want to dig him out too much because he's had a lot of abuse over the last 2 or 3 years, but again he wasn't great for the third goal, I think it was. But I think his overall play, it stops us being what we want to be in terms of that front foot from the back. He hesitates, he's not great with his feet. So that doesn't help from a defensive point of view. And I think without those front three lads, you'd argue the midfield, it's harder for them because they haven't got lads who are making the same runs, the same moves that you'd normally get. So it's totally different. So you can't get, we can joke about it, but you can't get too hung up on about 3-0 defeats, even if it isn't pre-season. But what I would say is, the manager won't be happy.
No, he won't be. He won't be happy at all. And they've got one more game to go, which, by the way, is mad because I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like this pre-season's just so long and it feels like we're playing so many games, but I don't know if it's because we've got the Community Shield on Sunday. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the Community Shield skews it a little bit. But it feels so close now, doesn't it? Because, obviously the City game is only, it's a glorified friendly again, but because there's a trophy at the end of it, you still want to win it. Yeah. And obviously it's a chance to put a little bit of a marker down. Don't get me wrong, if you beat City 3-0, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to go and win the league or anything like that. But I do think it's a nice early opportunity to put a bit of a marker down. So there's no doubt the manager will be taking it very, very seriously. I think he's got a week now that he'll really enjoy. He's got them in Evian for a week. He'll get to do all the things he's probably wanted to do that he couldn't do in America. He's got all his main lads back now, Mane being the only exception. So this week's going to be a really important time. I think the manager says at the end of yesterday's game, you'll see a different animal next week.
Yeah, I mean, he said in his press conference about Evian that it's always been clear that Evian's going to be the most important week of the season, 5 days after City, before Norwich. And he loves Evian's training camp, and it might be that they really get their heads down and start to work on the start of the season, because he also said in his press conference he's never had it before where he's been missing 6 players in pre-season.
Yeah.
He said he's not trying to make excuses ahead of City, he's not trying to do that, but you have to understand that he's never had that before. He was missing Firmino and Alisson due to the Copa America, he was missing Mane and Salah due to the AFCON, Naby Keita, who was at AFCON but obviously he's injured, and Shaqiri the same, and he's missing a lot of key players there, and the whole front three, and that formation. This is why I don't think people should get too hung up on last night. Not that they are, but that defeat, that formation was completely different to anything they knew, and I'd be gobsmacked if they even thought to line up like that on Sunday.
Well, it didn't really work either, because even though I think he's trying to get a 4-3-3 on the pitch, it ends up being a 4-1-4-1 kind of formation, and you've got Wijnaldum and Oxlade-Chamberlain in wide areas, but it's not natural for them, so their first thought, their instinct is to drop a little bit deeper, so it makes us more blunt. I mean, I thought we looked okay, or we looked better when some of the young lads came on. There was a bit more kind of drive, enthusiasm and stuff. I think Hoover looked good, and I thought Harvey Elliott, man bun aside, looked all right when he came on. He's got a hell of a first touch. Again, caveat it's pre-season, you know, it's not a Premier League game. But Klopp talked about him in glowing terms afterwards and said, you know, loads of clubs are chasing this kid and he's chosen to come here. He sees his future here. You can probably see a plan for him here because we do give other young players good opportunities. And why wouldn't you want to be at the home of the European champions? But I think, you know, one thing that is really kind of, it's highlighted to me a little bit more without having those lads is that we couldn't half do with one more up top, just to supplement what we've already got. I think that's for me is key. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. But if it was me, I'd be pulling the trigger on one more up top, just to support some of those front three lads, because they've had really busy summers.
Yeah,
and you know, it's so important now because City have raised the bar so much to the point where you think, you know, you can't even draw the game of football anymore. It feels like a defeat. Because we've raised the bar so much, you've got to start quickly. Yes, I think we'll beat Norwich because we've got far better players than Norwich, but as the season goes on, you wonder what impact it has on the likes of a Mane, the likes of a Salah, the likes of Firmino, who've had busy summers, busy seasons last year. We're asking them to go again. Is that going to be tough for them? You know, if they have injuries or fitness issues or poor form, there's not really loads and loads of other options that you could compare in terms of, you know, ability-wise. Brewster looks great, by the way, but he's a young kid. He's a young kid, so I don't know. That'd be the one concern for me, but as I say, it doesn't look like we're going to do much between now and the 8th of August.
No, it doesn't, but who knows what could happen between then and now, but I'm like you, I don't think it's going to happen.
No.
But a lot of people are having a say on this, and we were just talking off air that some people are saying people are being negative if they're a little bit, you know, concerned that we're not signing anyone, but then some people are quite positive because it just shows you in a good position. And what I will say is this team, you are, for everyone saying that you are right, this is a team that got 97 points and won the European Cup, and that's being realistic. But that 97 points wasn't enough to win the league, was it?
No.
And for me...
It's our standing, really.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you're looking at the likes of Ryan Brewster, Oxlade-Chamberlain, for me, probably Joe Gomez, who didn't feature last season, and they're the ones that are coming back. And it's the question of, are they enough to close that one point gap and take it further? Who knows? But it'll be good to get the front three back. I think there's a lot of panic, and well, I don't know if it's panic, but like I say, there's a lot of people who I've seen a tweet that people were less worried about when we were 3-0 down at Barca going into Anfield than what we were about last night. I think it's because we are still so desperate to win this league, and we just want to see our lads back and playing good football, don't we?
Twitter's mad at the minute. I mean, if you put anything out there, I mean, get your tin hat on, because it's so divisive, because there's loads of people who are just basking in number 6, and that's fine. You know, I've enjoyed my summer, it's been great. But you have got to think about this season at some point, and it's important to remember that, you know, the manager's attentions are now turning towards this season. I think he's already said he's banning talk of European Cup wins. It's about focusing on the here and now. So I get why people are relaxed and stuff. I'm fairly relaxed about it, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, I don't half think 1 or 2 additions would have been great, because I think what you find as well, it just kicks the lads on. It just gives everyone a little bit of a lift, and I just think sometimes you need that as a squad, and I've always believed in, you know, position of strength. Just add another 1 or 2. I think that's generally been what most clubs have done. It feels a little bit bonkers to win a European Cup where you've got the opportunity to then probably attract most players that you could possibly want. You know, there's always 1 or 2 exceptions, but there's not many who wouldn't have wanted to come to Liverpool after seeing what happened last year. So I think that's I just hope it's not a missed trick, really. But you know, time will tell. But there's no doubt we've got a fantastic side, and there's a good squad there. But maybe you're relying a little bit on luck to make sure you're not losing 1 or 2 key players that you'd find it difficult to cover for.
With injuries or whatnot.
Yeah.
No, I get what you're saying. I think we need to, I think it's cliche, but we do need to trust in the manager. I think
of course,
if he wants
he knows
to
more than anyone.
He does. I mean, it's all right for us to sit here and panic and stuff, but say you look at City, they've signed Rodri, but that's it. They haven't actually signed it. They've lost company. I haven't seen any more incomings from City. I know they had a massive squad anyway. He was also saying about the Community Shield. He said, nobody told me it was a pre-season friendly. Is that what people are saying in this country? He said he went and won 5 of them in Germany and loved it. He said, and when you lose it, people are bothered, but why are you all calling it a friendly? And I don't know, it is a friendly, but this one definitely has more needles, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I would have won it. I mean, because you're playing City as well. You know,
champions of Europe versus champions of England.
It feels like there's more to it. Of course, it will always be classed as a friendly, but it's nice to get some good stars, and it's nice to win another trophy, and winning breeds winning. So in my mind, when I get on that ground on Sunday, we're all going down, aren't we, on the bus. When I get on that ground on Sunday, I want to win that game of football. There's no doubt about it. And I think the manager will as well. I think because of who we're playing, the players will see it's got a little bit of an added kind of spice to it and stuff. Yeah. So, yeah, it feels bigger than if you were playing, you know, a mid-table team, obviously, because City are going to be our rivals for the rest of the season. So, yeah, nice to put a little marker down early doors.
Yeah, and he also did say that basically if we win, it's great, but if not, he doesn't think it'll predict, you know, next season or set him up. But it's always nice to win, isn't it? And just a quick mention to Harvey Elliott, just earlier, I was going to jump in and say it, that he said it was a dream come true. Does need to sort his hair out, though. Like, get to Barber's #1, lad.
His clobber's not the best as well, you know. You've seen his clobber.
Honestly, you'll find him in Barber's #1.
I don't know what's going on.
You know, with the shutters down with Firmino. Yeah. Hopefully Firmino takes him under his wing and goes, come on,
I'm
like,
not sure
in Liverpool,
I'm not
you
sure.
can't get away with that. You'd have a Ketwick or you'd have a shaved head, and that's it. That's as much as you can do in Liverpool without getting ripped.
But if we're talking clobber, though, I don't think you want Firmino getting older yet, because he wears some fucking mad gear, doesn't he? So,
speaking of clobber,
see what I did there?
The Anfield Jack have a sale on of t-shirts. Ian, I'm going to ask you to be my glamorous assistant. Oh, there's loads of t-shirts from last season.
Right, okay.
Which
look
enthusiastic.
No, I'm wearing one now.
Yeah, but that's not on sale anymore. That's gone. I do apologise. Bloody lovely though.
That's what you could have won.
So we've got a couple of t-shirts from last season. I'll let you hold this one.
Right, okay.
That's my favourite. I've got that one. There's loads. There's about 8 or 9 designs, but they're from like £7.50, £9. So Stone Roses one. You've got the Klopp one. Yeah. There's a red Anfield Jack one, which you must have seen John Gibbons wearing at the weekend at Liverpool Pride, representing the Anfield Jack with Peter Moore. There's loads more. There's about another 3, 4, 5 designs. There's mugs. There's hoodies for a tenner. Honestly, get on the website, basically, theanfieldjack.com/.
They're all belters, to be fair. I really like that one that I've just had.
One, yeah,
really good.
I wore that to go to London, and I had about 3 people saying, excuse. Oh, I went to the Boots in Lime Street, and he was like, I really want that for Madrid, and I was like, theanfieldjack.com. Get on it. And then just a quick one that I want to mention is the mural. I haven't had the chance to see it yet. It looks finished, but it's not finished. Just bear with it. Keep an eye on all our social medias. It's unreal, isn't it? It's great
brilliant.
To have a market in the city.
It's brilliant. I think Gibbo and Craig gave a little bit of an insight on the Weekender show, I think, and they talked about, I think they had the artist on actually as well, which was really, really good. And yeah, brilliant. I didn't realise just how much work had gone into making that happen, by the way. I mean, obviously, there was like consultation with Trent and his family to make sure he was happy with the photo and stuff. And I think the end product is just superb. But it's great the way it's landed in a really good place. You know, obviously there's a lot of thought going in behind where they're going to put it. And imagine what it's like for him, seeing that when he's on a team kind of coach and stuff, driving to the ground, and he gets to see that. I mean, that's like probably stuff dreams are made of for him, where he's now a figurehead. You know, he's a young lad who's kind of, you know, come through the ranks. He's played in 2 Champions League finals, and it's brilliant. He must love it. So yeah, but it looks really, really good. I think it was the same guy who did the Klopp one.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he's brilliant. So, he's called Eric. He's fantastic. Yeah. So if you see us anything on social media, please give him a follow. Take a picture, mention us, mention him. It's also sort of not donated, but it's in honour of the food banks as well, which is the best, one of the best causes in the city. You don't need us to tell you how fabulous they are. But it's just a little bit of a thank you for what they do, and hopefully when you do go and visit it, you take your photos and you have a little think about obviously the cause behind it, but also the scouts that are on the wall, which is always a good thing. And
a subject close to Trent's heart as well, isn't it?
It is.
And so, it's something he's been behind certainly since I can remember. So yeah, fantastic cause, and yeah, it's just great to see, but a really, really nice touch as well. So yeah, it's good.
It's another good thing for Anfield. Keep spreading the word, and like I say, tag us on anything that you take pictures of, videos of. We want to see all of them. But for now, that's been your Monday Talking Reds. Lizzi Doyle, Ian Ryan. Thank you very much.